All right, my name's Damon Ryan. Thanks for having me again, and guys. Uh, this is pretty much the same build as last year, but I decided to do a Fortnite theme. The bus was supposed to fly, but it didn't quite work out. I do have some Fortnite stuff added in there. So the Zipline, I do have a Chinese figure of Camp Cuddle Leader there. Uh, Eclipse Graphics does make some Fortnite vending machines. There's one there at the building there, and then one up there by the temple. I've tried to include a couple chests, one there at the very end as a mythical chest, and then one down over here is just a regular chest. Most of the kids have gotten it. I wanted to get some build structures on there, but this event, transporting from Houston to here, it was a mess by the time I got here in the van. So,
No, I mean, it's a very impressive layout. It's great to see the landscaping back again, and then theming it with Fortnite is great because you're able to have so much fun with all the different characters. So take us through some of those. I mean, something that catches my eye is the yellow brick road with the Wizard of Oz characters, but they're a little more armed than normal.
yeah, so my son actually did the weapons, and I thought it was clever that he gave the Scarecrow the musket. If I would have had a little more time, I would have thought to strap some dynamite to Toto. But it's like over here in the battle at the end, I got Krusty and Homer battling it out right there. Krusty is in the Wonder Woman gear wearing the bustier. So like Gremlin's here. There's Gizmo there. I can't even remember the bad guy's name going at it. There's some more Simpsons characters throughout. People point out the Swedish chef with the bazooka, and I'm like, oh, he's just cooking because, that's the Swedish chef for you.
How'd you do the zip line here?
So I used some Technic parts to put it together, and it's a Technic shock at the top, and then just hinged it to it. One of the guys bought some string for me. I forgot the piece that I was going to use to attach somebody to the zip line, but it probably worked out because the weight of the figure may have just pulled it down.
Over here, we've got some very well-armed individuals.
Yeah, so Willie has the Batman gear on with the merch gun. I keep telling the kids the one I think is going to win the Fortnite battle this round is going to be Officer Wiggins down here on the bicycle with the banana, because that's a dangerous combination right there. This is the first time I've gotten in the large waterfall in its entirety. Would like to do a little more work on the left-hand side at the bottom, but I'm still playing around with it, trying to get where I like it. I'm eventually just going to have to glue it, but
The waterfall adds so much to break up just kind of the gray mountainside. So talk about kind of the structure of that and how do you get all that water to stand up?
I spent 3 hours last night in the room sticking pieces together and 2 hours the night before, and then I just build little strands out here on the floor. I usually go up in a 2x2 section of it at a time and just hope it doesn't fall. Because, a good bump to my table and it's all just going to come down. So I got to figure out a better way to do that. But, the backdrop is something I added this year just with the battle bus hanging. I purchased the instructions for the battle bus. They were all right. I wish the instructions were a little better because I ordered all the pieces ahead of time and I could have saved so much. The backdrop is actually Lego. On the other side of it, there's a bad guy with the netting on him, and it was from the 2016 Mountain City Police store window display at the store.
Where did you find those at?
I used to work at Lego, so when we would take down store displays, it was like, I'm going to take this one to the trash can. So
Talk about the bus design, kind of the balloon up there, because that's a really difficult shape with Lego.
yes, that design is made to hang. It will not support if you just put the balloon on it and want to set it up. It's not going to support it. The balloon wants to go over. I did order. It's a clear 1x6. It's not Lego to hold the balloon together, which seems to hold a little better than Lego or the instructions was using a white piece. I tell people my favorite part is Man Bat coming out the back on the motorcycle with the guns blazing. So the bus was going to be motorized. My card even says in the description, Fortnite theme mock with backdrop and hopefully a flying battle bus.
You were setting expectations, you wanted to be careful.
Yeah, I didn't have time to test out the support, and then when we started putting it up, I was at the point where it's like, I'm just going to scrap it because the amount of time I would need to spend to work it out, this would have just lacked. So, I mean, I've been having a lot of fun of it. One of my favorite characters up there is the guy on the pizza delivery guy coming down the mountain on the moped. He's all flying off, going sideways.
You got the chrome skeleton here. It's like a Terminator.
Yeah, that I got off the Chinese site when I ordered the Camp Cuddle Leader along with Deadpool Bard over here. I got the Demigorgon right down there fighting the Predator. That was another figure. It was like I tried to not use too many of the knockoff characters, but for like Predator and stuff like that, Legos doesn't make it, so I kind of have to cheat. I'd have to say one of the saddest parts about my build this time around is I have Jeffrey the giraffe there with the I Heart Toys R Us sign, is hearing kids say, Mom, Dad, what's Toys R Us?
No, we've entered that generation.
God, we grew up as Toys R Us kids, so. But overall, I mean, it's once I got it set up this time around, hey, the fan reaction's great. I've been having a good time here.
The great thing about Fortnite is there's so many characters in games, so you can just put like anything on the build and it works. It looks like you've got like Bob Ross almost up there.
Yeah, so a lot of people didn't know Bob Ross was a military sniper, so I gave him the sniper rifle, and he is at his easel up there. I got Sloth riding the dragon there from Goonies, and I tell people the dragon's so old he's backfiring with the fire coming out the back of his head there.
And then is it like Little Bo Peep over here on the far right?
Yes, with the Minecraft sheep. One of those velociraptors is not going to turn out good for him because he's biting on a creeper head. The one, I have only added one new base plate since last year, and it was this one right here. I've been inverting these 2x2x3 double-sided to get that to come out. I really am impressed with that rock work. I kind of hate that it's on the side because I'd really like to feature that a little better. I do a lot of inverting throughout. It was just, I was like, that came out better than I ever expected.
So talk a little bit more about the landscaping and the rock work. What is most of that like? Is that slopes? Is it bricks? How did that come together?
I've been asked about that, and other people keep asking about the burps, big ugly rock pieces. I would have to say the curved one, I've roughly used about 110 of them. The flat one, I've probably used about 75 of them. As I've progressed, I've used less and less of them because I would rather just build the rock formation than to keep ending up with something that looks like the base plate right there next to it. So it does save time when using them. Ton of dark stone gray brick. The one challenge I've had over the past year is the Lego stores. The 4 that are near me have had no 2x4 brick for 17 months on their pick-a-brick walls. So that really halts building for me because 2x4 bricks is probably one of the most used underneath pieces just for building that support. Table is 7 layers. So it does cut down on a lot of brick, but when you don't have any 2x4, I can't even build. So
you've got 7 layers of tabling under here to kind of add that height to it.
Yeah, it's PVC pipe, and it just saves on the brick. Pardon me. The only one that's solid that goes all the way down is the one with the large waterfall. Like the one next to it, that whole top inverted part's going to come off to go in a box, and it just makes it easier to transport. I did come from just north of Houston this time around. This is my first out-of-town event. So I've told my wife, hey, I'm going to go do one. The whole family came. My son is over there on the other side hanging out with some of the younger kids. He's in the 12 and under category. He's having a blast.
That's awesome. Do you have any idea how many pieces are in the whole layout?
No, I tell people I have to guess maybe on the low side 180,000 just because when it comes to small pieces, I can't tell high side maybe 280,000. I'd have to say when it comes to 2x4 brick, honestly, I can guess that is probably around 30,000 to 35,000. This one I used way too many 2x4 bricks on it. I mean, it's literally like 8 studs wide coming up in the front. So as I've progressed in loading up, I can tell which ones are older and which ones newer. The newer ones are much lighter. So I think this is the last time I'll be showing it until I'm complete with it in its entirety. But once I get past that one there, the rest of it's going to go really fast. So I'm thinking 2 Brick Rodeos from now, I'm going to have it back in its entirety.
So what has the public reaction been like since it's Fortnite themed here? I'm sure you get a lot of kids excited.
Yeah, the kids get really excited and they're like, oh, Fortnite. And then they start noticing like the Zipline and the Camp Cuddle. Most of them, for some reason, aren't noticing the vending machine, which are Clips graphics. They're fantastically printed. But most of them understand the concept of the battle, and they like how I've basically paired up. Like there's Homer down there battling Krusty, Mickey, and Goofy up there. I try to pair them up, the Gremlins there. So it's been a lot of fun. I mean, as far as with the backdrop turned out great.
Your tree technique throughout here is really nice as well. I mean, there's so much going on that it's easy to overlook that, but I love the palm trees throughout.
Yes, I've had several people, and I actually will break them apart to show them how I'm building. I've had several people this event film me building these palm trees because there's not a lot of Lego palm trees out there that look like palm trees. I've heard people using technique with a hot dog, but like I said, I use the internet to pay bills and order Legos, and that's about it. So tell people ignorance is bliss.
So when you get this to show, you've put a tremendous amount of time setting up. Like you said, you were spending hours building the waterfall and everything, but for the larger landscaping sections, how does that all fit together?
So the trees I build, they will all go in a box whenever we tear down here. Most of the landscaping will transport. I do end up with usually a good pile when I unpack, which I really don't mind because it does make a change in the scenery. So if you took a picture at one show and you go to the next show and you take a picture, it's going to look a little bit different because palm trees don't go in the same spot. I just stick them randomly. Because, it's like I even questioned about bringing it here, and they were like, hey, everybody in the club knows it, but the audiences are local, so they're not. They're like, bring it, show it. It's been a great reaction. This year, with all the issues, it was a 14-hour setup. So once the event started and I started getting the fan reactions, it makes it totally worth it.
Yeah. No, thanks so much for the work you put in. Do you know how tall this is from the bottom to top?
So I believe from the very lowest part on the table to the top of that temple is roughly about 5 feet 7 inches, 5 feet 8 inches. But most kids have been coming up here, oh, this is taller than me. And our little yellow chain thing, I've been pulling it out of the way all day so the kids can get pictures in front of it. The kids have been loving it. The parents have been enjoying it.
I think this layout in particular is amazing for kids because it is so tall. They're either like eye level or even kind of looking up the mountain, which just creates, I'm sure, a whole fantastic experience for them.
Yeah, once I started getting to the top of the waterfall, I realized I couldn't go much higher because then it really starts killing it for almost everybody. Because, I mean, when you got parents lifting kids up on their shoulders, it's like, yeah, I've gone high enough. So now I'm going to hit the beach and hopefully have it back here in a couple of years to show you guys and just keep going with it then. And awesome. We'll just see what happens. I got bags of brick at home. I'm ready to get building. So
there we go. Well, thank you so much for all your effort bringing this out to the show here. And it's such a fun exhibit. So thank you for taking us through it. I appreciate it.
Oh, yeah. Thanks for having me back, guys. It was a pleasure.